Hello and welcome to Yoga with Carolynne. Today is a Twisty yoga flow where you will create some space, some length, and release some tension along the length of the spine, and also explore the benefits of practicing intention on your yoga mat in order to bring some intention off of your yoga mat. So put on your comfy clothes, roll out your yoga mat, and let's get started. Welcome to Yoga with Carolynne, teaching empaths and sensitive souls just like you how to create a collaborative relationship with your body through cozy, accessible yoga and self-care practices in order to live a life filled with less doing and more being. So in order for us to be able to jump right into the practice, I will mention that you will have the invitation to set an intention for your practice today. And the intention can be one that you're just looking to focus on for today's practice, or maybe it's for this specific season of growth during spring, if you happen to be watching this during the season of spring, or just the specific season in your life. If you are interested to learn more about how to set an intention and what the effects and the magic of doing that practice can look and feel like for you, then I would strongly encourage you to click the link in the description box below, because I send out these videos to align with my weekly newsletters. And so this week's newsletter that came out talks about what my own experience in practicing intention has looked and felt like in my own yoga practice and my own life. And so I have left the link for that in the description box below, so you can click on that and read a little bit more. And if you're interested, I would be so honored to have you register for the newsletter so you can get these weekly little love notes in your inbox on a weekly basis. So let's get into the practice. So for today's practice, you are going to want to have 1 or 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, a pillow, rolled up blanket, or a heavy book will work just fine. We're going to start right as I am here in a seated position, and I will definitely encourage you to make sure that this shape feels like a supportive one. So grabbing hold of some sort of support to lift the hips up so that you can really find that length in your spine and that settledness in your hips and your knees. And then placing the hands onto the lap wherever they fall comfortably, and bring your eyes to a close. And then let yourself arrive. Noticing how you've shown up on your mat today, physically, but also how the heart and the mind are doing. And allowing all of you to settle onto your mat, the light, the dark, the confused, the frustrated, the wonder, the gratitude, all of you. And I will invite you now to set an intention for this moment, for this practice. Typically, an intention being set in your yoga practice starts with the words, I am. That intention being set in the present tense. And it is typically focused on a feeling. I am love, I am compassion, I am present, I am patient. And if you don't really know what intention you'd like to practice with today, that's okay too. Be patient, be kind with yourself. Keep the eyes closed here and still holding that intention in your heart. Lead with the breath. As you inhale, reach the fingertips out towards the side. The fingertips come all the way up towards the sky. Bring the palms to touch. On the exhale, bring the hands into heart center. Silently stating that intention to yourself now. Breathe it in. And then releasing any attachment to it, exhale out the mouth. Beautiful. Fluttering the eyes open, inhale, reach the fingertips out towards the side and all the way up. On the exhale, twisting towards the left, I'm mirroring you here. So bring the right hand on the left knee, left fingertips on the floor behind you. Wherever they meet, doesn't matter if it's straight behind you. So just make sure that this feels okay. This feels comfortable for the shoulders. Take an inhale to find length in your spine. Exhale, sink a little bit more into the twist. Take one more breath like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Lead with the breath. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Notice if you're trying to rush through it, so take your time. Exhale as you twist towards the other side. The left hand comes on the right knee. Right hand behind you or wherever it meets comfortably. Take an inhale to find that length right from the base of your tailbone. Exhale, twist. One more breath like that. Notice if you're trying to kind of crank the head back, and please allow this twist to start from the base of your torso, and then the shoulders and the head just follows along for the ride. On your next inhale, release the twist, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. And then exhale, just floating the hands down. Coming into tabletop position, coming onto your hands and your knees. If you know that your wrists are feeling sensitive or a little sore today, then you can skip this part because we're basically just transitioning into a forward fold. So you can meet us in a forward fold at the front of your mat. But otherwise, in your tabletop position, curl the toes under, straighten the legs to send the hips up and back into your downward facing dog. We're not staying here for too long. This is just our transitionary pose. From your downward facing dog, take as many steps as is comfortable for you to make your way towards the front end of your mat. Meeting in a forward fold at the front of the mat, and your blocks are there to help raise the floor up a little bit. Softness in the knees, heaviness in the head, the back of the neck. Pressing into the soles of the feet to slowly roll up to standing. The head comes up last. You can use the support of the hands to walk along the legs to bring yourself upright. Once you get there, roll the shoulders back. Allow the palms to open up towards the sky. Beautiful. Okay. So I'll ask that you place your blocks so that they're closer in towards the center of your mat, but still towards the front end of your space. And coming into your mountain pose, and choose a position for the legs that feels stabilizing, that feels supported, that feels grounding. Really press into all 5 of your toes, pressing into the heels. Bring the hands onto the hips and do a little bit of kind of rocking back and forth with the pelvis. So allow your butt to really stick out behind you and then tip the tailbone under. Do that one more time as you rock the pelvis back, finding a really big curve to the low back. And then finding a really kind of tipping forward. Beautiful. Now bring yourself into a spot where the pelvis feels like it's really level. Like it's not too curving back and it's not too tipping forward. Can you engage a little bit in the lower abdominals and that space right underneath the belly button? Keeping the hands onto the hips, begin to bend into the knees, sink the hips down, chair pose. You've got a couple of options here for the arms. So this is most definitely a leg strengthener. So sink down into those hips, look down at your toes, make sure you can see them. If you can't, explore bringing the weight a little bit more into the heels. So your options for the arms are to keep the hands on the hips, reach the fingertips forward, or reaching the fingertips up towards the sky, bring the palms towards each other, or facing each other rather. Now let's explore that twist. Take an inhale here wherever you are with the hands. On the exhale, you're twisting towards the right, bringing the right hand on the right hip, then the left hand on the left knee. Using that support of the hands to inhale, find length. Exhale, twist a little bit more. Doesn't matter where the gaze goes. Notice if you're pulling that right hip further back behind you, can you pull the right hip forward, pull the left hip back? Let's flow over towards the other side. Inhale as you come back into center, bringing your hands back where they started. Exhale, other side. Left hand on left hip, right hand on left knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Come back into center, find your inhale, and exhale to straighten into the legs. Beautiful. Okay, let's add on to that. Take an inhale here. Exhale as you sink down into your chair pose. Keep the hands on the hips, bring the weight into the right foot. To pick up into the left foot, reach the left foot back behind you. High lunge. So widen your stance here to really find stability in your shape. Right knee is above right ankle. You want to make sure that your blocks are right on the inside of that right foot. Take an inhale, please, to reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Take an inhale to find length. Exhale, as you reach the right hand back, the left hand reaches forward. Twist. Inhale to stay. Exhale to stay. Can you soften? Beautiful. Okay, this is where we play a little bit. Take an inhale. On the exhale, lead with that front hand so the left hand comes down, down, down onto that block. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. This is called easy twist. But maybe there's nothing easy about it, so explore here. The gaze can stay where it is, or the gaze can reach up towards that hand. If it doesn't feel comfortable to have that top hand where it is, you can bring the right hand on the right hip. So even amongst these poses where you're twisting, you're strengthening, you're doing lots of stuff, breathe in your intention. Take an inhale to bring yourself all the way back up to that first position. And then bring yourself facing towards the front end of your space. Hands on the hips again. Weight into that right foot to then step towards the front end of your space. Chair pose for one more inhale. Exhale, straighten. Yeah, beautiful. Shake out into the legs. Then let's do that flow on the other side. So hands on hips, bend into the knees, sink the hips down. Notice the tailbone again, so finding that really beautiful middle ground for the pelvis. You can see your toes, so wiggle your toes, make sure you can see them. And then bring the weight into your left foot. As you pick up into the right foot, step the right foot back behind you. High lunge. Take a moment here before you reach the hands up to find that position for the feet that feels good, that feels stable. And then reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Take an inhale here. Exhale, we're twisting towards the left. So reach the right hand forward, the left hand reaches back. Notice if you're kind of reaching a little bit more forward or reaching a little bit more back. So keep that alignment with the shoulders or in the center of your space. Take one inhale here. Exhale to stay. Now let's play. Take an inhale. Exhale as you reach with that right hand. The right hand comes down onto that block or your support. And you use that pressing of the right hand into the block to bring yourself into that twist, reaching the left fingertips up towards the sky, or the left fingertips or the left hand comes onto that left hip. Use the inhale to bring yourself up. Bring the hands onto the hips as you face forward towards the front end of your mat again. Weight into that left foot to then step the right foot towards the front end of your space. Chair pose for an inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs. Beautiful. Take an inhale to reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale as you soften into the knees to bring yourself forward and down. Your blocks are there to catch you. Let's stretch out into the legs after those chair poses. So using those supports of blocks underneath of the hands, you're going to be bringing the right hand onto the right hip, keeping the right leg straight, bend into the left leg to twist again. Noticing the stretch that you feel along the back line of your right leg. This is a really, really great pose to do also if you've been doing lots of quarantine walking. And then releasing that to bring yourself into the twist on the other side. So switch the hands. Right hand comes down, left hand on left hip, twisting towards the left, right leg bends, left leg straightens. Releasing that, bring yourself back into your forward fold. And then you're just going to widen your feet nice and wide to then begin to bend into the knees, and you're just sitting yourself all the way down onto the floor. Straightening into both of your legs. You can move the blocks over towards one side. Coming into one last twist before we end the practice. So you're going to keep your left leg straight and bring a bend into your right leg. And you get to choose, would you like to have the sole of the foot on the inside of that straightened leg or sole of the foot on the outside of that straightened leg. Choosing which position you'd like to find. Keeping the left hand onto that shin or wherever it can comfortably meet onto that leg. Reach the right fingertips up towards the sky. On the exhale, bending into the elbows, pull the elbow back, 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 and bring the right hand down onto the floor. So again, notice how every single twist, first you inhale, find length. Then you exhale, you twist. One more like that. On your next inhale, release the twist, bring yourself forward. Switch the position of the leg, so straighten into that right leg. Find that bend into that left leg, sole of the foot on the inside or on the outside of the leg. Totally up to you. Right hand comes onto that left knee. Take an inhale to reach the left fingertips up. Exhale as you bend into the elbow, using that elbow to reach back and down, left fingertips come down onto the floor. Take an inhale, find the length. Exhale, find that twist. One more time, just like that. Inhale, release the twist. And then meeting back in your seated position. Take an inhale, reach the fingertips out towards the side and all the way up. The gaze can come up if that feels good for the neck. Palms come into touch. Exhale, bring the hands into heart center, pressing the palms together. Thumbs are pressing in towards the heart. If it feels okay, the eyes come to a close. Come back to that intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. Notice if it feels a little bit more potent or a little bit less. If it's changed or if it still feels right. And it's at this time during the practice that you get to choose to bring that intention with you as you step off of your mat and into your life. Notice what happens when you begin to incorporate and sprinkle this intention when you're off your mat and moving about your day. In order to release any sort of strong attachment to the final outcome. Take an inhale, breathe in that intention one last time. And then release it entirely. Exhale at the mouth. Opening up into the eyes. Thank you so much for joining me during today's Twisty Flow and Intentional Flow. If you enjoyed today's practice, then I would absolutely love it if you would give the video a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber already. As I mentioned at the beginning of the practice, if you're curious about learning more about practicing intention, what that feels, what that looks like, then click on the link in the description box below, and I would be honored to help you along your self-care journey. From my heart to yours, until next time, namaste.